Previously on Ready to Die.
But when I get on the beat, I walk. I can't do nothing less. He can try to act like he won't smoke, and we gon' leave him stressed. Hey, what you claim? I throw it up and bang. Rock out for your set. It's money waking me up out my sleep. I never get no rest.
Matrix on the time.
I guess real way too hard to find. Stay down, just wait for your time. Post it, looking out through the blinds, keeping it stick right by my side. They see me now, they talking down, waiting just wanna see me fall. I know they gon' change, but I can't let that throw me off. And my mind clean on sober shit. You coming up, now they noticing. Ain't in the field, you ain't being reckless, ain't crashing, not really focusing. No surprise when I find my way. All they want is to see me lose. Creep things ain't been the same, but I maintain, ain't nothing else to do, and they.
He does admit to being the one that pulled the trigger and killed Elena Sims on that evening.
Any idea what the motive was?
It would appear that the motive is that he did not want to be in her life anymore and was not ready to, have a child, is unfortunately how it appears to us.
This is the story of Elena Sims, aged 22, a young mother who was gunned down while 5 months pregnant by her rapper boyfriend by the name Billy Adams. Billy, who was just acquitted in a double murder trial 13 days prior, lured Elena to a quiet location and then shot her while her 2-year-old baby was in the back seat. He lied about knowing her initially, but later confessed he never wanted the baby.
And we begin tonight with a pregnant mother found dead beside an SUV in Tampa. Her 1.5-year-old son asleep and unharmed inside.
This terrible case will be taking us to Tampa, Florida. Tampa is known for its lively Ybor City. Tampa is also the cigar capital of the world. Tampa also has plenty of stunning theme parks and museums, such as the Busch Gardens and the Florida Aquarium. The Tampa Bay region is most well known for its beautiful Gulf Coast beaches and world-class theme parks. Alana, affectionately known as Lana, was born on February 13, 2000, in Tampa, Florida. She was a simple young lady who was loved by mostly everyone she came in contact with. She was a happy, easygoing and energetic lady. Alana has a young son who she adored. She was a great mother and gave everything she could to make him feel great. Alana started dating a semi-professional rapper named Billy Adams. Along the line she got pregnant and she informed Billy about the pregnancy. All that said, there will be a little deviation in this story to talk about Billy Adams. Billy Adams, who performs as Ace NH, was said to be a gang member. On a particular day he booked a session at a makeshift recording studio sometimes in 2020, which ended in him killing Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson.
I pulled out my gun and I shot Mr. Albury in fear of Mr. Beast getting shot or myself getting shot.
He claimed he was in fear for his life and had to defend himself when he shot and killed Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson.
Billy Adams is known in the rap world as Ace NH. But in the real world, he is a double murder defendant. In November of 2020, Adams is accused of gunning down 2 men in a converted recording studio in Lutz. Investigators say Adams is a gang member, and they believe the shooting was connected to a gang feud involving weapons and money.
I was facing my computer, and I heard 2 gunshots.
Joseph Meeks owns the studio and witnessed all of it. He testified during Adams' bond hearing.
What did you see?
Basically, all I seen was the people not moving and Adam standing there with a gun.
Aside from being a rap artist, Adams graduated from USF with a bachelor's degree in science in management. The judge agreed to release him on bond with conditions that include house arrest and an ankle monitor. But now Adams tells the court he and his family are sitting ducks after receiving several threatening text messages. Your whole family's gonna die. We want you first, then we want your brothers, then your parents. I want the whole clip dumped into your head. The threats go on and on. Adams' attorney now wants the bond restrictions modified to protect him and his family from any harm. The judge agrees to tweak some of his bail conditions.
He claimed that the shooting was in self-defense and that he'd heard the pair talking about robbing the studio's owner moments before Albury pulled a gun to shoot them both. Prosecutors said Billy is a cold-blooded killer. Billy, who took the stand in his own defense during the trial, said he was in fear for his life and had to defend himself when he shot and killed Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson. The jury believed him. Billy was acquitted of first-degree murder and burglary charges on January 27 in the deaths of Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson, who Billy told the jury were executing a robbery at Joseph Meeks' recording studio. Billy had his entire life ahead of him. So did Sims, until she was found shot to death outside her car in the 10700 block of Pictorial Park Drive in New Tampa on the evening of January 30th. As previously reported, she was 5 months pregnant. Her 18-month-old son was found alive in the vehicle next to her body.
And we begin tonight with a pregnant mother found dead beside an SUV in Tampa. Her 1.5-year-old son asleep and unharmed inside. Tonight, her family is desperate for answers. This is Nightside. I'm Dave Wagner.
And I'm Angelina Salcido. 22-year-old Elena Sims was found lying in the street last night near the Eastern Park subdivision in New Tampa. Tonight, her family spoke only to 10 Tampa-based Shannon Clough, saying they just want to know what happened to her. Elena's sister tells me she would have been 23 in just 2 weeks. Her 5 siblings are heartbroken knowing she was found in New Tampa. Her son just feet away, unharmed. Tonight, Elena's family says they just want some answers.
Her as a person, she was very selfless.
Elena Sims' sister says she was a single mother with a heart of gold. Tampa police say Elena was found dead in this area of New Tampa. A person called police when they saw her lying in the street near the Eastern Park subdivision. Her 1.5-year-old son was sleeping in an SUV just next to her.
At this point, we're saying that her injuries are upper body trauma. I can tell you that when she was laying on the ground, it appeared that she'd been deceased for at least a bit of time.
Tampa police say Elena was targeted and potentially attacked by someone who knew her. Elena's sister says they grew up in Tampa, but this neighborhood isn't familiar to the family.
So we don't really know why she was in that area.
As far as what happened and who killed her,
we have no idea what has happened.
Harley says Elena's son will be taken care of by family. All of them heartbroken they'll be without their rock.
Police believe Alana was out there for some time before she was discovered. It took a couple of days, but in the end, the evidence pointed to Adams Billy, who was just acquitted of double murder 2 weeks prior. It was a shock as to why someone who just went through that much stress would do such a thing. He was interrogated and he denied ever been in that area, stating he was home all day. When police obtained the probable cause and a motive, they confronted him with the conflicts and discrepancies in his story. Adams changed his version of events, this time admitting he did meet Alana at the Eastern Park subdivision, where she was found dead. He also admitted to killing her, although his version of events painted her as the aggressor. Initially, he stated that Alana pulled a gun on him and while he wrestled with her he shot her. When he could not demonstrate the events, he changed his statement to the fact that Alana pulled a gun on him and he was able to get the gun away from her and then shot her in the head as self-defense. During the interview, it was discovered that Alana had planned to attend a party for her so-called boyfriend on the evening of the murder. She was told that there will be a celebration for the not guilty verdict, which was where she thought she was going that night. Billy confirmed he knew Alana was pregnant and that he might be the father.
If Tampa police investigators are right, then Billy Adams is a cold-hearted killer. They believe he plotted to murder a woman who may have been carrying his unborn child, a child he did not want. He's in jail tonight, a place he's very familiar with. News Channel 8's Trevor joining us live with that story. Trevor, you spoke with this young woman's family. They felt Billy was trouble, but they didn't see this coming.
Elena Sims had her whole life ahead of her with her baby boy and the child that she was 5 months pregnant with. That is until police say her boyfriend, Billy Adams, killed her in front of her child. And listen to this. He had just been acquitted of double murder when he lured her with the promise of a celebration. And then he shot her. His motive, police say, becoming a father was not what he wanted.
He does admit to being the one that pulled the trigger and killed Elena Sims on that evening.
Any idea what the motive was?
It would appear that the motive is that he did not want to be in her life anymore and was not ready to, have a child, is unfortunately how it appears to us.
Well, now he's behind bars once again, and Elena's family hopes it stays that way.
9 days after getting a call that changed her life, Shalavi Sims received another one Wednesday afternoon.
Praise God on that.
It was a detective on the other end of the line with news they arrested the person they believe killed her 22-year-old daughter Elena and unborn grandchild.
Our family and friends were just praying that they catch this monster, and they did. And they did.
Tampa police say Elena's boyfriend, Billy Adams, lured the young mother to the Eastern Park neighborhood last Monday night.
Where she thought she was going was to attend a party for who she considered to be a boyfriend and who she believes is the father of her unborn child.
Instead, police say when she arrived, Adams shot her to death with her toddler sleeping just feet away in the car. Thankfully, that little boy was not hurt. But police say this happened 3 days after Adams was acquitted of a 2020 double murder.
They made a wrong judgment. They really should have looked at the whole picture and not just thought about, oh, this is just a young person. They need to look that that guy did the same thing to another family. 2 at that.
Leaving this family with the constant moments of wondering why.
No need. If you didn't want to be in her life, walk away. She would have been taken care of regardless.
Her family says she was 5 months pregnant with a little girl when she was gunned down. A grandchild they now will never meet, but they say they will make sure Elena is never forgotten.
She was a joyful person, very high spirit. She's going to be dearly missed.
As they now shift their focus to justice.
Justice has been served. I mean, I can't bring my daughter back, but at least we know that the monster that did this would sit behind bars, and maybe he will think now of what he done. If not, may God be with him.
Elena's family says she would have turned 23 years old next Monday, so this weekend they will have a memorial in her honor. But instead of celebrating and lighting candles for her birthday, they are forced to light candles in her memory. Her mother tells me she just wanted everyone to know that without the outpouring of love and support that's really come from near and far, she wouldn't have had the strength to make it through this.
Oh, I just can't imagine what they're going through, Janae. Do we know at this point how police were able to link him to Alana's death?
Yeah, Ali, so police say a few days after this incident happened, they actually brought Adams in trying to figure out maybe if this was retaliation or why someone would want to harm Elena. They say, though, at that time he was giving misleading statements. Things just seemed a bit off. Then they ended up finding video of his vehicle near the area, even though he denied he was in that area at the time. And he ultimately admitted to being the one who pulled the trigger.
Billy Adams is charged with 2 felony counts: first-degree murder and the killing of an unborn child by injury to the mother.
Also developing today, the Tampa rapper accused of killing a pregnant woman and her unborn child just days after a jury found him not guilty in a double murder made his first court appearance. You see that virtually right there. Billy Adams going before the judge. While he did not say much, new court documents show he's using a familiar defense. 10 Tampa Bay's Malik Rankin went through the filing, and Malik, it gives us new details on exactly how police say he is connected to the death of Elena Sims.
Today's hearing only lasted a few minutes, but the details revealed in these documents filed ahead of his next hearing on Monday could change what happens. Right now, Billy Adams will remain in jail without bond. In this motion, the state detailed interviews with witnesses and Adams, and how the more questions they asked, the more his story changed. The motion for pretrial detention states Adams told detectives he was home the entire evening of January 30th. That's the night Elena Sims was killed. Documents show Adams gave police video showing him with friends at the villas that night. He recanted those statements after police later determined that the video was recorded on February 1st and was altered to indicate the January 30th date and location. Just days before Sims' death, Adams was acquitted in a double homicide case.
In fear of Mr. Beast getting shot or myself getting shot.
He claimed self-defense. Now he's giving police a similar argument. Documents say initially the defendant stated that the victim pulled a gun on him, and while the defendant wrestled with the victim, he shot her. When the defendant could not demonstrate the events, the defendant changed his statement to the fact that the victim pulled a gun on him and he was able to get the gun away from the victim, then shot her in the head as self-defense. On Monday, the state will argue that Billy Adams poses a threat of harm to the community and should stay in jail without bond throughout his court proceedings.
A judge denied bond for 25-year-old Billy Adams, who is wearing a red jumpsuit and handcuffs. He's accused of killing Elena Sims, who is 5 months pregnant with Adams' unborn baby, according to investigators.
That's what happened, Pink. Yeah, today's her birthday.
Antonia Dudley says her best friend was laid to rest on Sunday.
She was sweet. She had one of the biggest hearts ever. Like, she would do anything for anybody that she loved and she cared about, and she loved her son. Like, she adored him.
The night of her death, Sims' family says Sims thought she was attending a party celebrating Adams' acquittal of a double murder 3 days earlier. In a 2.5-hour statement last week, Adams admitted to killing Sims after confronted with evidence involving the car he was driving and text messages. He claimed self-defense.
People have taken a great interest in this case. The first case has nothing to do with the second one, except in terms of timing.
The public defender representing Adams filed a motion for a protective order to prohibit the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office, Tampa Police Department, and Clerk of Court from commenting and releasing documents concerning this case.
But we also, at this point, know that the continued media attention is threatening Mr. Adams' right to a fair trial.
Adams' attorney says the uniqueness of this case could impact Adams' right to a constitutional and fair trial, as well as seating a jury, but the judge denied the motion.
He remains in jail till further notice. We hope Alana Sims and her unborn child gets the justice they deserve. Our sincere condolences to the friends and families of Alana Sims. May Alana's memory be a blessing for her family and for all who knew her, and may her life and death be an inspiration and a turning point towards justice and increased protection for domestic abuse survivors.
Welcome to the home of the gangsters, a city full of thugs, where the killers slinging nines, swiping cars and robbing plugs. Cold-hearted, how they started, ain't no room for no love. Every time you say it's smoke, we spin it, we can't get enough. Welcome to the home of the gangsters, a city full of thugs, where the killers slinging nines, swiping cars and robbing plugs. Cold-hearted, how they started, ain't no room for no love. Every time you say it's smoke, we spin it, we can't get enough. Straight up out the gate, I'm rolling, niggas dissing, I ain't noticed, but I'm clutching on some shit that take your head right off your shoulders. Turn me up, watch it get violent, make a move, them pistols tapping on your ass and you can't stop it. ACE, the trending top, let's go. How much them niggas paying?